Imagine if I told you that everything you are today, your intelligence, your emotions, your language, began millions of years ago in a desperate battle for survival. We thought we had the incredible story of how Homo sapiens evolved and conquered the Earth, perfectly mapped out. We thought we knew the whole timeline. But recently, a 146,000-year-old puzzle piece just resurfaced, throwing a massive wrench into everything we thought we knew about human history.
What if I told you a single ancient skull, literally hidden in the pitch black of a well for 80 years, could completely break our understanding of human evolution? It sounds like a movie plot, right? But this hidden skull is currently baffling the world's top scientists and even advanced artificial intelligence. It's a fossil that simply doesn't fit into our neat, established evolutionary tree. This isn't just a tiny update to the history books. It is a total disruption.
The journey of this fossil is just unbelievable. Picture this. It's 1933, right in the middle of the Sino-Japanese War. A laborer working on a railway bridge over the Dragon River in Harbin, China, unearths this totally bizarre human skull. Knowing it's important and wanting to protect it, he smuggles it home, wraps it in cloth, and drops it into an abandoned well. And it literally sat there in the dark for 80 years. It wasn't until 2013, on his deathbed, that he confessed the secret to his grandchildren. They eventually surrendered the skull to scientists in 2017, setting off an absolute scientific earthquake. Let's jump right into Section 1, the dark history of fake science. Now, to really grasp why this Chinese skull is such a huge deal, we kind of need to rewind and look at the historical battle over where we even came from. Back in the 19th century, you had this totally baseless pseudoscience called polygenism, pushed by guys like Samuel Morton. He falsely claimed that different human races evolved from entirely different species, creating racist pseudoscience specifically to justify the horrific practice of slavery. On the flip side, you had Charles Darwin. Darwin proposed monogenism, this groundbreaking, unifying theory that every single human on Earth shares one single common ancestor. And guess what? Darwin hit the nail on the head. Early archaeological fossil hunts ultimately validated his theory. As scientists raced to dig up evidence, the fossils overwhelmingly established a unified evolutionary tree. It proved beyond a doubt that we all originated from a single species, completely wiping that racist pseudoscience off the map for good. Which brings us to Section 2, the established human tree. This is the accepted story of how our ancestors survived and eventually conquered the Earth. Around 3.3 million years ago, early hominins like Australopithecus, famously represented by the fossil Lucy, started walking upright. Their brains were tiny, just 400 cubic centimeters, but standing on two legs was a total game changer for spotting predators and carrying food. By 1.8 million years ago, Homo habilis arrived, using sharp tools for better hunting. Then, 1.3 million years ago, Homo erectus makes a massive leap. They discovered fire. Cooking meat allowed proteins to absorb faster, which drastically ballooned their brain size and paved the way for advanced communication. Eventually, this evolutionary pressure cooker led to the two smartest human species, Neanderthals and Homo sapiens. But here's the thing, the Neanderthals vanished. Why did we survive? Well, even though Neanderthals actually had larger brains, Homo sapiens possessed superior communication, coordination, and problem-solving skills. We could literally out-cooperate them. Throw in a bit of interbreeding and some severe climate shifts, and Homo sapiens became the last one standing. Okay, moving on to Section 3. Dragon Man breaks everything. So just when scientists are patting themselves on the back for mapping this whole tree so perfectly, boom, the Harbin skull comes into the picture. Scientists carbon dated this thing and were absolutely floored. They compared it against 95 known human fossils, and it didn't match a single one. They even fed millions of 3D scanning possibilities into advanced AI to try and place it on the evolutionary tree. The result? The AI continuously forced the creation of an entirely new, never-before-seen branch. Meet Homo longi, affectionately nicknamed Dragon Man after the river where he was found. This species is an absolute biological puzzle. Scientists literally had to declare him a completely new species, and they are totally stumped as to how he fits into the broader human story. Here is the crazy part. Dragon Man is a walking contradiction. On one hand, he has the largest human skull ever discovered. Ever. Even bigger than a Neanderthal's. His estimated height matches modern humans, suggesting he belongs right next to us on the timeline. But then, look at his face. He has the thick, protruding eyebrow ridges and the exact teeth structure of Homo erectus, which is a much, much older ancestor. And this right here is the paradox that's tearing the evolutionary tree apart.
Think about it. If evolution dictates that brain size generally increases over time, how can a species with such an ancient face possess the largest skull we've ever discovered? If you group him with Homo erectus because of his face, it breaks the established rules of brain expansion. He shouldn't have a massive modern brain yet. But if you place him near us, his ancient features make zero sense. He's a missing puzzle piece that just doesn't fit the hole we have.
This leads us right into Section 4, Evolution in Our Modern DNA. Now, you might be wondering, why does solving a 146,000-year-old mystery actually matter to me today? Well, because human evolution isn't just in the past, it's living inside our bodies right now. Tracking evolution helps us understand the genetic mutations that cause everyday conditions and even deadly diseases. If we can't solve our evolutionary history, a lot of modern genetic disorders will simply remain incurable. Let me give you a super relatable example. Did you know that 68% of the global population is actually lactose intolerant? Yeah. So if a glass of milk ruins your afternoon, you are actually in the global majority. The vast majority of the world, especially across Asia and Africa, cannot properly digest milk. And the reason for this? It is entirely rooted in our evolutionary history. It turns out historical farming practices directly forced a genetic mutation. While general farming started early in Asia and Africa, dairy farming was heavily pioneered in Europe. Europeans began consistently consuming milk from cattle. Over generations, their bodies genetically mutated to digest that lactose. In regions where dairy farming wasn't adopted early on, that specific genetic mutation simply never happened. And modern data backs this up perfectly. A 2017 NIH study showed that countries like Norway, Denmark, Sweden, and Austria have extremely high lactose tolerance, while Asian countries show significantly lower rates. When we track evolution, we are literally tracking the original source code of our modern genetics. Finally, let's wrap up with Section 5, the future of human evolution. Because here is the wild part. We aren't just studying evolution anymore. We are beginning to control it. By mapping our evolutionary history, scientists in the UK have created a revolutionary procedure resulting in a 3-parent baby. By combining the DNA of 3 different people, they can successfully eliminate deadly mitochondrial mutations. We are essentially engineering humans who are immune to devastating inherited diseases, literally taking the reins of our own biological destiny. It leaves us with a totally thrilling question about where our species is headed next. From ape-like ancestors fighting to survive on the African plains, to a laborer hiding a mysterious skull in a well, to scientists engineering disease-free bobies, our evolution is an ongoing, spectacular story. As we finally gain the power to rewrite our own DNA, are we still just adapting to survive? Or are we becoming the architects of an entirely new species? Keep questioning the world around you. Thanks for joining me for this explainer, and keep learning.